Okay guys, warm welcome back to the channel. So it's blowing a gale outside. You can't really see it, but it is. So today's plan now is I'm back from Bedford. I've washed the car down because I don't want to do all this work on it while the car's dirty. So it's been washed from the track day. Yeah, not amazingly well, but well enough. And we're going to start the strip down on the car interior. So I just got myself some bags. Put all the nuts and bolts in. When we strip down this interior, we're going to be getting tons of nuts and bolts. And the worst thing you can do is just stick them in the footwell or like in the pockets of the cars, which I used to do. The best thing you can do is put them in a bag and label them up and like keep them with the part. Because as we strip, we're going to build parts, and when it all goes back in, it's a nightmare. And a good rule is the stuff you take out first, you put in one location with the screws, and then the next stuff somewhere else. And then when you're working back in reverse order, you can find what you need to find. So step one is to get these seats out of the way. And yeah, I'm not going to be doing all of this with the camera in my hand, but you got to take these seat belts off first. So I'm just sizing that up. It's going to need bigger. It's going to be probably a 17. Yeah. So what I'll do, that it's going to be that nut out, and then those reverse torque pieces out. So we take all of the rails out the bottom, and let's get those seats out. And I'll come back in when the seats are out, and then we'll move on. I mean, you could keep the seats in theory, but there's so much going on, and we're going to be in and out of this car so often. It's going to just the seats need to come out. Yeah, I'll be back. So seat one is out, no problems. Got to resist the urge to go and vacuum in there now. Got good access. That was good. Underneath the seat, I found my dyno results. This was after we went back to a stock airbox and we wanted to re-dyno. So we found peak power up here that we weren't getting before. So where was our peak? That would be our peak, wouldn't it? Yeah, that red one there. It's just interesting, that, isn't it? Well, I suppose, yeah. It's actually, we still lost a bit there when we went back to a stock airbox, but then we got it back at the end. But that could just be the different dyno runs. Each one's going to be slightly different. Yeah, you could see a little bit more peak at the high rev range. But the problem is this part here where you're coming off vario cam at around 5,000 RPM or 550, I think, I can't remember. But you're coming off vario cam here, and you always get a turn down, like Steve was saying. But normally it will turn down a bit and then like go off like here somewhere up to above and north of 280. So I should be coming down and then going up here somewhere. Yeah, sort of about there. I should be peaking up here. So you can see what I'm saying about it dying off. This part of the graph is kind of normal. But then what it should do is just go like that and then up there like that. So yeah, a lot of top end power missing. But since changing the fuel filter, I think what we've seen is the injectors after this, we get even more here. And, you know, a little bit more peak, but still that flatlining. So we're just going up a bit. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I should put those away somewhere. So I've got those. I will put those in my folder. So what I'm going to do is just plonk this here and then come round. Yeah, so hopefully you can hear me. I enjoy doing this, just like chilling out, plugging away. making some informal videos. Funny old thing, isn't it? The more as time goes by, I decided that I like just spending my time messing around with cars. That's me. That's me, that's what I want, and that's what I want to do. I'm very lucky to be in a position to be able to just, you know, do all this social media stuff, like, and base it around all the stuff that I love. I'm really going off social media fast though, like these social media platforms. Ages ago I told you, if you follow the channel, I'm not on Facebook really. I've got an account, I've got the page. Ah, cool. Ooh, who put that in? But I just didn't like the platform. It's just such a bitchy, horrible platform. It wasn't good to be on it. I'm noticing now with the other platforms, I can't do TikTok, as I've said before. I can't do that platform. It's just, for me, it's just like, forgive the word, but it's just retarded. It's a retarded platform. I can't do it, so I've uninstalled that off my phone. But I'm noticing Instagram is becoming a really bad platform. The stuff it shows you, and it must mean it's the stuff you're interested in. But you could be watching Instagram and one thing could come up, could be something that's light-hearted and funny. And the next thing that comes up is someone being stabbed to death, you know, or some fight that's gone viral or something. And it's just, I don't know, you know, it's just really bad. And at least you're watching it and it's like the emotional response to the content is just so intense because they're showing you like traumatic stuff. And yeah, it's like, got me thinking, definitely don't want my kids on any of these kind of social media platforms, or my kid, because they're just out of control. And what they're showing you doesn't paint a very nice picture of the world, even if there's some truth to it. It's just not a positive thing. Oh, what are you doing? I've got to undo these bolts. It's a really dark thing. It's showing you stuff that years ago when I was growing up you wouldn't have seen and you wouldn't have been allowed to see, and it's just there. It's like, here you go. You know, it is really bad. Yeah, the problem is I need to use YouTube Shorts. It's probably just as bad, but it's a little bit further behind those. It is a little bit more restricted. They do censor stuff a little bit more, and it needs to be censored and controlled and restricted. So people tend to use Instagram for that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's out of control, and I think it's taking over. Like these social media things are taking over from the tradition of like the mainstream news. You know, back in the 80s and 90s, you'd watch the news, or you'd read a newspaper, and that was your view on the world, however limited and biased and distorted. Now social media is taking over, and I think people generally different, our generation don't watch the news anymore, and they get their opinions fed from what they see on social media and what they interact with, and those algorithms are fantastic of knowing what is triggering you and what is making you to dive in the comments and watch the videos that you watch over. You know, you don't just watch once. And unfortunately, I think the way those algorithms work and the content that's on those platforms is long-term going to be really detrimental to society. I think it is, because it's just too intense, it's too horrific, it's too traumatic. But it's just, that's become the norm now. And this generation is going to be growing up watching all that stuff, and nothing's going to shock them. Yeah, you know, I think it's a different world out there at the moment. It really is. England now, from what it was in the 80s and 90s when I grew up, It's a different country. It's still a great country, but it's a different place. It's a very congested place and the roads are knackered. You try and go anywhere. I don't know how people, hold on. I don't know how people, especially in this area down south, how they survive the commute because of the traffic is so unreal. Like you lose hours every day just sitting in traffic. I don't know. There we go. I mean, it's terrible. The roads are terrible. That's a real big problem. Driving in the UK used to be such a great thing, you know. We had these amazing back roads. Now, you can't drive anywhere because of the traffic, and all the back roads are full of speed cameras, and, well, not all of them, but there's just too many cars to be able to enjoy all that. So I feel, I've said before, I feel lucky to have grown up in the area I grew up in, because it was a lot better. Let's just make sure we don't... What's that catching on? Okay. There we go. So, there's our seats out. A bit of rubbish in there. Now what we'll do is we'll just pop these bolts back in here. If we don't need to put them in a bag, we can put them back in their bolt holes. That's good. But these seat ones, I want them out of the way. I do not want to be tripping on those. So that is the biggest things out of the car. Yes, that's a pretty strange time, guys. I think the world, social media is responsible for, I think, well, it's not responsible, but it's playing a role in painting a picture of the world which isn't entirely accurate, and is making us, I think, as a population, more like angry and upset, and yeah, it's not good. So that's why I'm thinking of just, how do I, the problem I've got is obviously I've used Instagram and I use YouTube, so I need to be using those, but I want to get to a situation where I just post content to them and don't look at them, which is, well, it's easy, just don't look at them. But it's not that easy really, because when you are on there, when you use that app, first thing it does is start showing you stuff on the feed. Or you might look at your own thing you've posted and then scroll on to the next one or whatever. You end up watching it if you're in that app, and it's designed to be addictive, and it's designed to get you scrolling. And the stuff you see is deeply engaging because the algorithms are going to show you the stuff that it knows is deeply engaging, which is all the horrific stuff. So I almost wish that Instagram and YouTube had just like a setting where you could say, look, I just want to see stupidity, fun and games, pranks, sexy content on cars. I don't want to see any women pouting and posing and all that sort of stuff on my Instagram. I don't want to see any violent stuff. I don't want to see any, I don't want to see any of that. I just want to see some nice looking cars and some funny pranks that make me chuckle for the day. You know, the let me tell you somethings. That's all I want to see. I wish there was a setting where you could do that and it was clever enough to know what you were on about. Yeah. So, yeah, that's been on my mind. Yeah, I mean, I had Instagram on, and literally it showed me a video of someone getting stabbed to death, and it doesn't sort of warn you, it just comes up and you see like a little incident, and then boom, it shows you literally someone getting stabbed to death, and you're like, I really didn't want to see that. I really didn't want to see that. And yeah, and that's what worries me about it. So there we go. That's out now. So step 2, I think, is to move on in here. I think we got this cage in the way. While we're in here, see if we can replicate my vibrations, you know. If I just get my tool bag out, hold on a second. Jesus, you bastard, right. Getting sidetracked already, but let's go in here with my rubber mallet. I don't think I'm going to be able to, I've tried this before, I don't think I'm going to be able to replicate. So you can just about hear it. There's this chirpy changing noise. There is a bit of play there. That's what it is, I think. Hold on a second. Yeah, there's no play on this side, but I can hear a knock. There, that's what's making it. There's a knock, a bit of play. That's our vibration, I'm almost certain of it. What the hell's causing that? It's definitely coming through this cage. I can feel that actually. I feel it more when I knock here, but it's not coming from down there. I've checked all that. That tinny twanging is what I hear, like a ding 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 ding. I think it's in the door card. It's around here somewhere, the noise is. Yeah, if I take all this shit out, pardon my French, I've done this before, it's a bit of a pain, it's going to be wedged in there. Do I want to get involved? Yeah, I think it's got something to do with where these mount. Let's get these out. Did I stuff some rubber bungs in here? It could be those that are doing it. It could be those. So we're missing a bolt. What I did last time is I took these out. These sat on top of each other slightly, and I thought I'll wedge them together, which I'm not sure is the right. Dan said that's not what you're supposed to do. One sits on top of the other one. So maybe I'll revert that. I mean, it would. These shelves, I think it's something to do with these shelves, but they don't sound like it. I think these shelves are to blame. It's in that cage, yeah. I think, yeah, if I had to guess, well, there's the strut dampening. I could adjust these things there. But actually, I don't know. I don't think I'm hearing it from all this banging. Something is driving me bonkers. Something is loose. Okay, well, I think. Look how that's all been ripped out to get that in there. Not being done very well. Just literally been ripped out by your hands rather than like cutting it all nice and clean. Dan's on about taking all of this foam out and just like to get the weight down. Like going, there's all foam behind those pillars and stuff. I don't think, even if you could get it all out and cut loads of it out and save like 1 kilo or 2 kilo, I don't think that's worth doing for me. Because the car will be even more gangster. It's like it will get too hardcore. I want to keep a bit that insulation and that padding. That door card. It's always sat a bit proud. Anyway, I'm just going to have a little bang around in here and we'll take this out. So I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back. So I've been just stripping out all those little front bits of gubbins and sun visor flaps and that little central control module for the lights and all that sort of stuff. I've unbolted the cage. I'm having trouble getting this cage out. It's all loose and free now, but it's it doesn't want to come out the back, and it doesn't want to drop down to allow me to sort of tilt it forward and rotate it that way. It's not lifting off of the mount bolts, you know. So I don't know. That's really getting on my nerves. Yeah. So we've got one side of trim out there. I've got to take that other side of trim out. We've got all of that stuff there. This is yeah, it's been hard work. Shouldn't be, doesn't look like I've done anything. It's just a nightmare in here. This wires, what the hell's this wire? What the hell is that? It always worries me when there's a wire, but it could be anything. It's nothing to do with the sound system, is it? As far as I know, that's nothing to do with the sound system. So why is there a wire going from here to the back? Something funny. I've disconnected the battery, but something funny was going on with this car, because I remember ages ago, there's like in here, you can see that there, you can't see it. Let me get the torch. The hell's this? What's been going on here? Actually, where's the torch? Let me just get another one. The hell's this? The hell's that resistor doing in there? Just there's nothing connected to it. It's just like an earthed resistor. What the hell? Why would you have an earthed resistor there? And where does that cable go? What's all this? That's earth to the chassis. What is connected to that? Is that black cable? No, that's the earth. There's nothing else connected to it. So that shouldn't even really be in there. Why does that need to be in there? Why would you have a big resistor like that in there? That's nothing. That's a stock fan. So where the hell does that cable go? Ooh. Well, that's a bit cracked in there. There's a bit of heat. The engine will do that. Yeah, don't know. I need to trace that cable out. Just nice. Whenever I find a cable like that, oh, I want to know what that cable is. What's that cable doing? I always want to know, because it could be important. Probably won't be, but it could be. So what's the next step for me is to take out that piece of trim along there, which should be easy, but the cage is getting in the way of getting that clip out. So that's the next thing. And then I'll probably take those back top trims off that you can see over there, if I can get those out. But ideally I wanted the cage out, so I don't know, I've got to think about how the hell to get this cage out. It's really getting on my nerves. I'll be back. Okay guys, so I'm going to down tools for the day. It's 5 o'clock. I haven't been doing this all day. I had to go drive up to Billingshurst, but been working on this most of the day. Some successes and some failures. I can't remember if I've told you I can't get the cage out, but I've still managed to get the headlining out without getting the cage out. And no, that cage won't come out unless I drop the suspension, in my opinion, because it's catching on those pegs and I can't get the door cards out while the cage is stuck in place, which is a bit of a problem. I don't think I need to get it out, but we will see. Everything else is out on the interior. I just need to find these bolts under here that release these so that I can get these plastic trims out. I'll do that tomorrow morning. Yeah, so I think I haven't dropped any of this gubbins out. Is that going to interfere with us taking the roof out? I think it will actually. Yeah, so I probably need to drop that tray out. Yeah, drop that tray out. There's another job. Brilliant. I've taken the rubber seal off. Dan said don't take the metal seal off, but I'm starting to think how am I going to cut round this. So no, it shouldn't be a problem poking through there and then cutting through all of this and then coming out there, but then cutting along here. The problem is going to be the wire on the inside, so I don't know, maybe put a microfiber cloth down and then just get someone else to hold the inside. I've never had that much, because it's going to be tight in there. Normally you can get it a bit more, so I don't know, it's going to get messy when I have to cut the glass out, but anyway, I'm hopefully going to do that tomorrow. I don't know about the rear glass either. I've got to disconnect, take that wiper arm off. Every time you do a job, there's more to that job than you realise. But we've got to take this rubber seal off as well. How does that come out? Yeah, that looks like it comes out quite easily. So that's good. We'll get that out. Yeah, so that's all good. It's all good so far. Not worried about the paint here. I'm just interested in the painting line. Yeah, so you can see where it's been paintardoed. Anyway, so there's my day one of my carbon fibre roof installation. An absolute pain in the derriere. If you didn't have this cage, it would have helped so much. How they got that cage in, that would have been fun, being a fly on the wall watching that cage go in. Yeah, and I think I found, as I mentioned on my Instagram stories, the source of the vibration. I think that they haven't put in the third mounting point for the cage. So there's two, it's mounted on 2 bolts on the struts, and then there's a third one, and all the plates under it are loose and it's not bolted in, and I think that was what was causing the buzzing. I'm almost certain. So some good progress, guys. I hope you've enjoyed day one, and I'll be following up with day two on day two. Over and out.